there, everyone. Hello and welcome. So glad to be back again this week for ArtSnacks Open Studio Live. Just going to give everybody a couple more seconds to join in and get ready, gather up your supplies. Welcome. We have Tony with us here. Hi, Tony. Thanks for being here. Hope that you're ready to do some, creative work, some drawing, or maybe just you're here to hang out and just watch. Either way, glad to have you here. We have Nickel here. Hi, welcome back. Hey, Sarah. So excited to be back again this week. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and start talking a little bit about what I have with me today. But before I do that, I'm going to do my usual sort of welcome announcements. So the first thing that I'm always going to say at the beginning of ArtSnacks Studio Live is to join us over on the Mix community. If you're not over on Mix, please join us. That's mix.artsnacks.co. If you're not familiar with what Mix is ArtSnacks' very own social media platform and online community. It's really cool. It's a great place to not only make friends with other artists, connect over art supplies and stuff that you're working on to get feedback, but it's also a really great place to get updates about what's going on over at ArtSnacks. And it's a great place to get, kind of in the know knowledge that really early announcement, sneak peek, preview kind of stuff. And sometimes there's giveaways on there. So I always just like to put that reminder out there that, go over to Mix where the ArtSnacks community is. It is free to join, so you don't have to pay anything to be a member. You also don't have to subscribe to be a member. You can be a former subscriber, somebody who's thinking about subscribing, and of course, subscribers are welcome too. But it's just a really great community, very good vibes, very nice people. So check that out. The other thing I'm going to talk about, which I think is exciting since we're working with markers today, if you're feeling particularly inspired by the drawing that we do in today's live stream, go over to shop.artsnacks.co and check out the Marker Madness sale. So you can use the code MADNESS to take off 50% of all markers in the ArtSnacks shop. And if you spend $45, you get a free Marabou graphics pad, which is what I'm going to be using today, this marker pad. So you can check it out and see if it's something that you think you want to do some drawing on. And this sale is going on now through April 30th. So you have the rest of April to check it out, but I would recommend, if you think you want to get some markers, to pick out what you're interested in getting now, because you never know, it might run out of your favorite marker. So but that's the code MADNESS. So check that out. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I brought with me today. I have actually all Marabou stuff today. So the first thing that I grabbed were Marabou sketch markers. I also have Marabou permanent markers. And then I have the graphics marker pad with marker paper. So I grabbed these markers. I had originally picked out a couple different markers, but I ended up going with the permanent markers because I wanted more color options. So I ended up going with this because I had a set of 12. And the set of 12 is in the ArtSnacks shop. All of this is available in the shop if it's that you think you want to pick up later on to add to your supplies. And I see we had some more people joining us, so I just want to say welcome, and I'm so glad to have you here. We have Paula, Gina, Jessica, so welcome. I'm so happy that you're here with us, and I can't wait to see what you make. So let me tell you a little bit about these supplies. So these are the sketch marker graphics. I had gotten some in an ArtSnacks box a little while ago, and I have a nice set of grays. And I also have this very cute orange color. It was one that just came by itself, but I think it's a really fun, bright, happy color. So this is the sketch marker graphics, and you can make a bold statement with this marker. It's filled with low odor, alcohol-based ink that dries quickly and waterproof. And you can draw crisp, fine lines with the 1mm contour tip that's on this end here. Or you can fill in solid areas we have a 7mm chisel tip on the other end. So it's a nice dual tip marker. So you have some options with one tool, which is really fun. And this actually works best on marker paper, but really you can use it on a variety of non-porous surfaces as well. So if you have other kinds of drawing paper like illustration board or maybe like a Bristol paper, it would work nicely on that. I will say that any kind of absorbent paper, like a watercolor paper, is going to soak up a lot of your ink and your markers and dry them out. So even though it looks very, very pretty on the paper, just be aware that if you're using something that's a little bit more porous, it's going to suck up more ink from your markers. So just something to keep in mind. Now, these other markers, these are the Marabou permanent marker graphics pens. So these are also low odor markers, and they're filled with vibrant alcohol-based ink that dries quickly and waterproof. So these are 2 alcohol-based markers, meaning that once it's dry, it's not going to lift off of the paper with water. So if you want to do some mixed media stuff, this could be really great for a first layer. So just throwing that out there. And these also have dual tips, so you can draw really crisp fine lines with the 0.5mm tip. You can also make bolder lines with the larger 1mm tip. And so these do come in a set of 12, and they're all smudge proof and permanent on almost any surface. So again, these will work really great on marker paper, but since they're permanent markers, you can really write on any surface, but just keep in mind that the more porous the surface, the more ink it will soak up. So this is the paper I'm using. I'll have a little animal on there from another drawing I did. It's like a little, I think I did a unboxing challenge with this marker pad before. This is the graphics pad, and this is just as a reminder, if you purchase at least $45 worth of markers, you get one of these. So you can kind of see it in action. Oops, sorry, I lost my focus there for a minute. Hello, there we go. We're back. So this paper is made just for alcohol-based markers, which is really nice. It features 75 sheets of smooth white paper. It's ideal for illustrations, sketches, and final artwork that's created with alcohol-based markers. This paper is pretty thin, but you don't have to worry about ink bleeding through thanks to it has an integrated solvent barrier, and it's 100% cellulose paper. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of why this paper is special and made for markers, but you'll get to see it in action, which is pretty great. So, I was thinking about what I wanted to draw. I'm feeling pretty inspired by springtime here. I've mentioned it before, but I live in Maryland, specifically in just outside of Baltimore City, which is pretty rural. We have, well, it's more suburban, but it fades into rural areas, lots of parks and trees and flowers. So things have been blooming like crazy, and my allergies are definitely feeling it. But it's just so beautiful. So I'm feeling super inspired by all of the colors. Particularly right now, we have tons of, we have cherry blossom trees, we have dandelions and violets, tulips, all kinds of things. So I think I might, I was thinking about doing some drawings of flowers, but now I'm kind of thinking about, now that I have all these really nice fine tip markers with all these colors, I kind of want to do sort of a floral mandala. I think that would be a really nice way to kind of wind down for the evening, because I had a pretty busy day. I had a lot of walking around, and I'm ready to just kind of do something relaxing. And this was something I didn't even know I was doing it when I was a kid, but I used to love to just draw shapes and lines and marks and fill up my paper. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on, and we can kind of just hang out, chat, and do some sketching. So before I start, if you've never done a mandala drawing, or they're also sometimes called Zentangle drawings, it's really, there's not a ton of structure. It's kind of just you go with the flow you can start out, I think I'm going to start out with a dot, but you can start out with any shape you want. And then you kind of just start to branch off and fill in the spaces and add in shapes. If you're still not sure, you just kind of follow along with me or just watch. And maybe you'll get inspired to make your own mandala. So I'm starting in, it's not quite the center of the page, but I'm just going to kind of use the dot and then kind of go from there. I really don't have a plan for what I am doing. I'm just having some fun with putting marks down on the paper. And I'm just going to switch around to some different colors and just play with that. And then I think what I'm going to do is maybe go in and fill in some of those shapes with these bigger markers once I have some more shapes established. But they always kind of reminded me of flower shapes. They're also kind of mathematical. They're kind of like fractals. And you can have more angular shapes or organic rounded shapes. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical by any means. But, you know, just kind of do whatever strikes your fancy and inspires you. I'm curious if anyone else is working on something in particular, or if you're kind of following along, or maybe if you're, you know, just watching and kind of relaxing after a long day, like myself. But I think I've mentioned it before that I work on a college campus, which is really fun for a lot of reasons. But I do find myself walking around a lot, especially if I have meetings in different buildings that are across campus. And today was one of those days, and I kind of walked back and forth between two buildings all day long. So I was definitely feeling the, you know, effects of having walked back and forth several times, but it was a good day. We had 82-degree weather today, so it was a nice, bright, sunny day, and I got a chance to do some work outside, which was really nice. So, oh yay, Sarah's just relaxing and watching. That's awesome. Oh, nice. Mapleberry Studios, welcome. You're also doing some artwork and watching? That's great. I'm so glad you're here. And I would love to see what you're working on. If you want to post over in Mix, we do have our own group for the Open Studio. So, you know, feel free to share anything you're working on. I try to go in there and check everything out at least once a week, if not more. So I'm always, you know, in there taking a look at everybody's stuff. And I'm always just so impressed with how lovely everyone's stuff is. It's just so nice to see. So I really enjoy that. Oh, thanks, Nicole. Nicole says it's a pretty flower. Yeah, I wish I could find some of the drawings that I did in this kind of style when I was a kid, because it was just something I did for fun. And I should do more of these. These are good sketchbook fillers. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Mapleberry. Yeah, definitely check out Mix. I'll share the link again at the end of the stream. So if you stick around, you know, you'll catch that again, or you can watch the replay and check it out there. But it's mix.artsnacks.co if you want to check it out now. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, if you are thinking of or trying to think of ways to fill up your sketchbook, this is a really great exercise. You can definitely fill up a page or two with these. And it's also kind of an interesting way maybe to do a swatch page. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, so this could be an interesting way to do like a swatch page or something like that. And you could, test out some materials. Like if you have some brand new pens and you're not sure how they will look on the paper, or you want to test the colors, this could be a really great technique for that. This is another good thing if you are somebody who, like me, who kind of needs to keep their hands busy when they're trying to listen to stuff. Otherwise, you get kind of distracted by things. This is a great way to kind of be working on something while you're listening. That was always something that I found to be helpful. Oops. Especially like when I was in school. Well, I'm still in school, but if it was a subject that wasn't really my forte, like when I was in high school, I took, it was required that we took American government classes. And while I think they're interesting, very important, they were definitely sometimes more challenging for me to listen to and comprehend. So I liked to take notes, but also sometimes doodle if I needed to listen a little more closely. And I'm sure that many other people were like that too. Oh no, I lost my pattern. It's okay. I'll fix it. I'll sneak one in there. Kind of goes off the track a little bit, but that's okay. Finding myself having to think about this a little more than I thought I would. I think it's just because I'm chatting while I'm drawing. But it was definitely a long day today. I'm kind of just... And I'm also not super worried about everything on this being perfect or symmetrical. I think that, it's just something to kind of enjoy using color and shape, all that good stuff. But if you're worried about it being perfectly symmetrical or almost like, more mathematical looking, you can always use tools like rulers, compasses, protractors, all that good stuff. That's what I liked to do in math class, which is another thing that's not really my strong suit. I always liked when we did the geometry lessons because I liked being able to draw the shapes. I thought that was fun. Hey, Laurelyn, welcome. I'm so glad that you're able to join us. Hopefully you're able to, join along with the drawing, but if not, that's fine too. Oh, it's kind of funny now that I'm getting back around to the top, I'm noticing how much bigger my triangles have gotten gradually over the course of going around, but that's okay. And I'll try to shrink them down a little. So is anyone else working on like a mandala or Zentangle, or are you doing something totally different? Like, is there a project in particular that you're working on, or are you trying this out? Is this something that you guys have done before? Is it, is this one of your go-tos? Oh, thanks, Nicole. And I hope I am saying people's usernames correctly. Forgive me if I mispronounce anything. Sometimes I don't always get it right on the first try. Okay, so I think that looks good. And now I think I'm going to go back into some of these shapes and add a little more detail. And I'm going to try, we're going to do a little experiment. I'm going to try to move everybody in a little bit. So bear with me so I can scoot the camera in a little closer so you can see some more detail. So hopefully that looks good. Looks good to me. And now you can see some more detail on my paper. Now that I'm doing some really like little line work. And this was always kind of my favorite part after I started filling in some of the bigger shapes. Was just going in and adding some details. Oh, thanks, Sarah. That was totally by chance. Just happened to be a good zoom, nice and smooth. And then, you can get even more detailed. Maybe I'll go in and fill in some of these in a little bit, but that was kind of what I would do. I would just really like spend forever kind of, going back and forth. I would expand out and then go back in and fill in details, and then expand out and go back in and fill in details. So, oh, hey, Erin's here. Welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you here. Awesome. Jessica's here. Hi. Oh, cool. You're using the same markers. That's really exciting. I'd love to see what you draw with them. The colors are so bright and vibrant. Oh, and I wanted to also show everybody. So you see, you can kind of see the ink on the other side, but it didn't bleed through to the paper on this side. So it's really nice if you're working on something, if you have a drawing behind it, you don't have to worry about the ink going through to that side, which is great. Oh, cool. Nicole is going to tie-dye a shirt. Oh, that's so fun. This is not really the same thing, but it does kind of remind me a little bit of tie-dye. That's pretty cool. Yeah, add some lines. Yeah, the no bleed through is really awesome with this paper. Because I love to work with markers, but I'm always so worried about, especially if I'm going in and coloring in a page in a sketchbook that has a drawing on the next page, or if I am, down to my last couple of pages and I want to save them, you don't want the brand new fresh piece of paper to have ink all over it. So it's really nice that this doesn't do that. So it really is perfect for working with markers. So we already have some pretty, I was saying we had some pretty nice weather today. And I think tomorrow, and then we're going to get some rain. So I don't know how everyone else's weather is, but hopefully you are having some nice weather. Maybe a chance to get outside and do some drawing. And hopefully you don't have as powerful pollen as we do here. Let's see. I feel like it needs a little something else. I think I'm going to add in, go back in with some orange and add some things in here. I love these little detail tips. Oh, Felicia, you have the same weather. That's nice. I mean, for us, we've had it's been quite chilly. I mean, it doesn't get terribly cold where I live, except for maybe like a couple of weeks. But it's still pretty chilly otherwise. So I've been enjoying some nice sunshiny weather. But yeah, definitely can't wait for the pollen to chill out a little bit. I think these exercises are really fun also because I feel like I'm thinking about design. I'm not thinking too hard, but trying to come up with a variety of shapes, new interesting things that can go next to each other, and the challenges of, using what colors to use and, what kind of pattern I want to create. All right. I think I'm gonna use one of the Marabou sketch markers now because I want to add some more. This is a chisel tip. I want to start to add some kind of like bigger shapes. What a beautiful orange. I love that next to the blue. I think it just looks so pretty. I'm kind of starting to add in some petal-like shapes. I'll go in and kind of fill those in a little bit more. Let me scoop down a little bit. Oh, so Laurelyn, you find Zentangle and mandalas challenging. Is there something in particular about them that you find difficult to work with? I don't do them very often, but I kind of just make up my own rules when I do it. So I don't know if I'll have super helpful advice or anything, but there are definitely some things that are challenging. Everything just takes practice, but sometimes it just feels like there's like a learning curve, or it takes a little while to get the hang of it, but you will the more you do it. Yeah, there are some things where I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like that. I'm just making my own version of it. But I don't know if there's any particular rules or anything. So Laurelyn, you just want to do like dots, circles, squares, triangles, stripes. Yeah, that's kind of the tricky thing. Is that sometimes it's hard to think of different shapes, but I think the more you do them, the more you'll start to think about other things that you can add. And maybe it's something that you draw for a little while, and you go away and you come back to it, and then maybe you'll start to think of some new shapes. Another thing maybe that would help is maybe if you like make a little like sort of almost like a swatch page of shapes and marks, then you'll have something and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'll try that shape. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad the Wi-Fi is doing okay. I was a little worried, but I'm glad to hear it's going well. Oh, we have another Sarah who's trying to resist the urge to buy all the Marabou. Well, I mean, look, I'm not trying to, lay into the impulse to buy them, but I will say, if you're going to buy them, this is a good time to do it because of the marker sale. So, if you're feeling like, well, maybe I just get a couple more, 1 or 2 or 10. But yeah, this is a good time to get some markers if you're looking to stock up on maybe some more colors or something, because the marker sale is going on. So yeah, Laurelyn, it's creative. It's definitely a creative challenge, but I think again, it's just like one of those things that you just try out some different things, and then you'll start to have more ideas the more that you play around. Oh, Erin's using stencils. Are you using stencils? That's a really good idea. I hadn't thought of that. But that's a fantastic suggestion because because the stencils, you can get a nice even shape without having to think about it too much, especially if you want things to be nice and even. I like that suggestion. Oh, Erin's playing with the Ecoline markers. Ooh, oh, I can't wait to see yours, Erin. It's gonna look so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to check out if you need to, replace some colors or something in a set. This is a good time to do that. I think my favorite markers are the Copic markers, and I really like the Copic sketch markers, and that's I actually discovered those through ArtSnacks, which was really great because I had always kind of thought, well, I don't know, the big markers are expensive and seem a little intimidating. But I got one of the sketch markers in a box one time, and I was like, oh, these are actually my favorite thing. They're so fun. And I did get a new Copic sketch marker in the last ArtSnacks sale, so that was really great. And if you're not familiar with what the Copic sketch markers look like, those are the ones that are like, they have two sides and they look like this. So they're really great. Oh, nice. Mapleberry Studios is using Copics. Yes, I love them a lot. They're really great. Oh, see, now I'm at the stage where I'm like, ooh, what colors should I use? I'm going to scoot my paper up a little so you can see the colors I'm kind of picking from. Now I'm like, oh, I have so many to pick from. What do I do next? I want to put something, I think, in here. So I was thinking about maybe adding some lines in here. I think I want to use the brown because that will contrast enough without getting lost. Kind of like a leaf motif kind of design in here. But yeah, the fun thing is like once you start adding bigger shapes, you can start to draw inside of that. So it's really fun when you're starting out really tiny. I mean, it's just started out with a dot. And then, you just add and build on top of it and you start to have a really cool design. This is, I think, also really good if you're somebody who just needs some quiet time. Maybe if you like to just like sit and think, or if you do something like mindfulness or meditations or anything like that, these are also really great for that. Or even if you're just trying to sit down and kind of sort through your thoughts and plan your day, this might be kind of a nice way to do it and just kind of reset. I think it's nice for the evening because I feel like I'm kind of resetting my mind from a kind of a hectic day, lots of planning, and I have a pretty creative job, not necessarily with visual arts, but I do a lot of like planning and just problem solving, that kind of stuff. So I love kind of just having some time to sit and work on some drawing. It just is really nice thing to do. I'm just catching up on some of the comments. So Jessica, you have a lot of the Copic sketch. Oh yeah, the Copic Chow markers. I like those too. Definitely some really nice go-to markers. Oh yeah, and so Erin is saying this is good art therapy. There's good art therapy research on mandala forms and mindfulness, anxiety reduction, relaxation, and creativity. That's pretty awesome. That's coming from one of the pros. So I think that's great. Yeah, Erin is an amazing art therapist and does some really cool stuff with Art Journal Snacks, which if you haven't checked that out, you definitely should. You can find out information about it on Mix, but also the ArtSnacks Shop website. So if you're interested in, art journaling specifically, you should definitely check that out because it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so what color should I do next? I think this needs a little more green. I think it's ready for some more green. Oh, hi, Tony. Welcome back. We are just working on kind of a free form mandala / Zentangle kind of doodle drawing. And just chatting about, colors, markers, and all that fun stuff. So, but if you want to catch up on anything, this will be reposted. You can catch the replay too. But yeah, just kind of building up my shape here and not really thinking too much, just kind of drawing intuitively, colors where I feel like I want a little more, or if I want to put in a particular shape. But these are fun. You could also do these types of drawings with just a pen. Like if you have a really nice technical pen. A couple of really great pen sets have come in the last couple of ArtSnacks Plus boxes that, those would be really nice because they have different size nibs on them. So you could do some really fun pen drawings. Let's see. Maybe I'll use this. Get bolder. Yeah, I'm going to kind of go off the page a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. I don't know if I have any purple on here. Now I can add some. I also, when I was in high school, whenever I would make cards or drawings or something for my friends, sometimes I would write their names out and then I would add these kinds of little decorative elements on top of those and really like make kind of funky lettering. It was a little difficult to read though, but I think they thought it was pretty cool because it was, a drawing that their friend did. So it's pretty neat. Oh, Nicole, you're working on caricature art? That's awesome. That's super fun. Oh, yes. Jessica, I'm so excited that you brought up Olo. If you guys have not seen the updates on Instagram, there have been some sneak previews of the Olo markers. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. Those are some really fun things that are going to be coming sometime soon with ArtSnacks. So I am very excited. I was looking them up a little bit because I had not heard of them. They were new to me. I was like, ooh, what are these Olo markers all about? And I saw something pretty interesting about how the ink is stored in the barrel of the marker. Pretty interesting, cool stuff. So it looks like they have a lot of really great pigment inside of them. So I am definitely looking forward to trying those out. I think they're going to be super fun to draw with. Oh, yay! I'm so glad you're feeling inspired, Laura Lynn. I can't wait to see what you make. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing. Just like, don't worry too much about the end product, and just think more about the process of drawing. And I think I've said this before, but it's something I tell myself a lot is that you can always do more drawings. Like this is not the last drawing that you'll ever make, and nor should it be. You can make as many drawings as you want, and it can feel frustrating sometimes if it doesn't quite come out the way you want it to. But just think of it as, one step closer to getting to where you want to be with your drawing skills. The more you practice, the better you get. People have probably heard me say this before, but one of my favorite things to think about with art is practice makes proficient, because perfection, nobody's perfect, and perfection's boring anyway. So that the more you practice, you become really, really good at it. But there's still more things to learn, which is really fun. So, but anyway, it's not the last drawing that you'll ever do. So try another one, and maybe this one will turn out better. And the more you do, the closer you'll be to having drawings that you really love and you feel proud of. But you should feel proud of every drawing that you do, really, because it's pretty amazing that we can just create something out of nothing. I think art is just so cool and amazing in that way. That's really what interested me about it, especially when I was younger, but it's always just so cool to think about. So, art appreciation. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Leland. I'm glad you find it to be good advice. Oh, yeah. So going back to those Olo markers, yeah, I would love to see like a behind the scenes, like of how those Olo markers are made. That would be so cool. Yeah. Oh, so Erin mentioned a crayon factory video, if you're not familiar with it, and hopefully this is the one that you're talking about. I think it is. There's a clip from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where Mr. Rogers goes to a crayon factory and he kind of is talking with someone who works there who is telling him all about the process of how they make the crayons. And it's just such a sweet video and very interesting learning about the process of making crayons. So it's pretty cool. So you can find it on YouTube if you want to look it up. So it's pretty great. Yes, yeah. Erin, that was the one you were talking about. Okay, cool. That's great. I think I'll watch that video later because it always puts a smile on my face. Oh, and speaking of Mr. Rogers videos, another one that I saw recently that was really delightful, it just really made me smile, was Mr. Rogers meeting Eric Carle, the picture book illustrator. Oh my goodness, it was so cute. They were making paintings together because I'm sure everyone is familiar with Eric Carle, but in case you're not, the type of illustrations he makes, he does collaged illustrations where he has a piece of paper first and then he paints all over the paper and then he cuts out shapes and glues them together and then draws on top of that. He wrote Brown Bear, What Do You See? The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So he's made some pretty popular ones. It was very cute. Just, they're together and just having so much fun painting paper. So if you need something to make you smile, I recommend looking up Mr. Rogers meeting Eric Carle. Will definitely bring a bright spot to your evening. Oh, and Erin is saying also the art lady on Mr. Rogers. She's an art therapist. Her name's Judy Rubin. Oh my gosh, how cool. And you've met her? Oh, whoa, that is too cool. I love that. How cool. I bet that she's super nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed when a lot of the biographies about Mr. Rogers were kind of getting popular. I listened to the audiobook, and it was narrated by, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Oh my gosh, he was the host of Reading Rainbow, and it's just flown out of my mind because I'm thinking of, oh my goodness, help me out, guys. But anyway, that was a really wonderful story, just kind of learning about, his impact on television and education for kids. It's really cool. LeVar Burton, thank you. Oh my gosh. It was right on the tip of my tongue. I had it. Thank you. Yes, LeVar Burton narrated the audiobook of Mr. Rogers' his biography, not autobiography. Someone else wrote it. So it was very good. So if you're looking for a nice, pleasant book to listen to, I recommend that one. Let's see. I think we need some more orange on here. So I'm just going to add some more in the spaces. I added in a little bit of that gray and that kind of neutralized some of the other colors. So bring out some more vibrancy. What a great conversation for the night. I'm always glad when it turns to like Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers, LeVar Burton, some of my favorite people. Trying to decide if I want to add some of these marks here. I think I want to leave the space. I got a little close on this one, but that's okay. They don't all have to be perfectly even, and these are a little closer to the edge, so I think that's fine. I'm curious if anyone has listened to any good audiobooks recently, or maybe read something really good. I think a lot of you guys know that I work in a library, so I'm always thinking about books, and you know, what people are reading is very interesting to me. And I'm always looking for good recommendations. So I'm listening to an audiobook right now called The Creative Act. It's by Rick Rubin. And it's kind of just about creativity in general, but it's a really good one. And I've been enjoying, I think he narrates it, but I'm not sure. But it's kind of like a way of thinking about creativity itself. And it's pretty good. So I've been enjoying listening to that when I'm doing some drawings and doing some creative work. It's inspiring and motivating, I think. Thanks, Nicole. Very nice comment saying I enjoy Thursday streams and thank you, ArtSnacks. And you're welcome. We're so glad that you're here. We're glad everyone is here. So thank you all for being here and hanging out and drawing. Or just, you know, just watching. It's so satisfying when, you know, get around, you know, the loop and then come around to the other end and then you completed that phase. I was like that. I think it needs some more yellow now. So, because it's kind of cool to see like right in the middle here. It's almost like it's glowing because it's the contrast of everything else. So I think it's ready for some more yellow. Jean, you also work in a library? Wait, Jean, do you work with me? I work with the Jean W. Are you Jean Wolf from work? And then we have, oh, Jessica, you've been picking out random art books at the library. Oh, cool. You got a book about Bob Ross's style of painting. That's awesome. He has a really interesting backstory too. Just learning about, you know, apparently he used to work he was enlisted in the military, which is really interesting. And he had developed his quick painting style by, I think he had very limited amount of time to work on paintings. And he developed it so that he could sell his paintings during the brief breaks that he had, which I thought was very interesting. But you'll have to tell me if that is in that book or not. And if you recommend that I read it, because I'll definitely check it out and give it a read. I always find that inspiring. Oh, Jean, you're in Wisconsin. Okay, well, we work together in spirit. That is pretty funny that I do work with the Jeans. I was like, oh my goodness, that'd be funny. But yeah, libraries are great places to work and just to visit and to be in general. And they're really great places for if you're looking for somewhere to go and do some quiet drawing. Libraries are good places for that too. And sometimes they have programs for artists. Okay, so I'm gonna think, what should I add next? think I want some more of this really bright pink. I'm gonna add some, I haven't added any squares yet, so we'll add in some squares. They're kind of like diamonds, but not quite. Oh, okay. So getting some updates about Jessica's book, that his background is not in the book that you're reading. That's still pretty interesting. Oh, okay. So it's like a step-by-step book. So it's not a biography. It's like about how to paint, like his technique. That's pretty cool, though. I definitely would like to try it out. I've been watching. I think I mentioned it maybe last week or the week before that I have been watching episodes of Bob Ross and just enjoying watching it because I watched it when I was a kid. It would come on TV, but I didn't try to like. I would just do my own drawings. It was usually of like little cats or animals or something. But yeah, it's just so relaxing to watch. And he's always just so encouraging. I'm like, thanks, Bob Ross. I can do it. So I really like that part of it too, because he had a lot of animals too. So some of his episodes, he has a little squirrel, and he has a couple other animals. He really loved animals, so I can relate to that too. All right, so I'm going to add just a couple more little details in here and then probably wrap this one up. But, you know, you can see I filled up a lot of the paper. I just have a little bit of space down at the bottom. But you know, you could really like, if you know, you could fill up any size you want. I kind of started not quite in the middle. But you could really expand it out and fill up the whole paper. And imagine if you had like a huge piece of paper and you just kept adding to it every day. That'd be pretty cool. But this, I think this turned out so nicely. And again, like, you know, I did all of that and the paper on the back is totally pristine, no marker bled through, which is really awesome. And has this, you know, this nice thin paper. So, you know, you get lots of sheets in a pad of paper. So you can do lots of drawings. And you could even go in, like if you have colored pencils. I really love to use alcohol markers and colored pencils. I'm trying to find a good color that'll go with this orange. I think this kind of like brown color, but I think it looks so nice adding the colored pencil on top. So if you wanted to go in and add some shadows or highlights or something to just give it a little extra bit of depth, you could really go in and pull out some of those values too if you didn't just want it to be flat color with colored pencil. And so that was like a bit of a complementary kind of tone, but you could also go in with something really contrasting and light, and you could add some marks in that way too. So, you know, you can always expand on this and start mixing in some other media as well. So, oh, thanks. Oh, so Sarah, you haven't done a mandala before, but you love this. Oh, of course, you're welcome. I'm so glad you have something new to doodle. And if you're willing to share, I would absolutely love to see it. So, you know, feel free. You can, if you want to post it in Mix, you can post it in the Mix group or the general feed. Or if you want to post it on Instagram, you can tag hashtag ArtSnacks Open Studio. Or I think it's hashtag Open Studio Live. I think both of those work. So yeah, please share your work. I would love to see it, and I know the rest of the ArtSnacks team would love to see it too in the ArtSnacks community. So definitely share your work. So this was really fun. I had a really great time just, you know, doodling and chatting with everybody. I got a new book recommendation, and hopefully you guys do too. So let me just do a quick recap of everything that I used, just in case somebody came in late. So the paper that I was drawing on, sorry, got a little close there, is the graphics marker pad. This is Marabou marker pad. It has the 75 sheets of paper. This is the kind of like, it says 8.3 by 11.7, so it's kind of like 8.5 by 11-ish, close to that size, not quite. And then I was also using some Marabou markers, the sketch marker graphics, which is an alcohol-based marker, and the Marabou permanent marker graphics. So I have a set of 12, and then I have a set of grays, but I was having so much fun with the bright colors that I ended up mostly just using bright colors, but I did put in a little bit of the gray just so it didn't feel left out. So that was in there too. So if you are feeling like, ooh, okay, I need to stock up on some more markers now, if you go over to the ArtSnacks Shop, shop.artsnacks.co, you can stock up on markers. It's 50% off of all markers in this. So when you go to checkout, use the code MADNESS. And if you spend $45, you'll get a free Marabou graphics pad, which is this one that I was working on today. So, you know, if you're like, okay, it's time for me to get lots of markers now, then, you know, and it's pretty easy to do because there are a lot of really great markers in there. And then in case you missed it before, just a reminder about our Mix community. It's mix.artsnacks.co, and we do have a little group for our Open Studio Live, so definitely jump on over there. I'm going to go through and look at all the posts, and I like to respond to comments too, so you know, I'll say hi to you over there. But thank you all so much. It's been so lovely chatting with you and seeing all your awesome comments. So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'll see you all next week. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your week.